Chapter 1. The Weight of Emotions. In the silent hours of the night, Marcus Aurelius would pen his reflections, writing, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." His words echo across centuries, a beacon for those drowning in the tempest of unbridled emotions. To let go of emotions, especially those that grip us with anger, regret, or sorrow, is not to deny their existence, but to tame their power over us. Emotions are like the wind. Some days they are a gentle breeze, cooling the skin and providing comfort. Other days they rage as storms, uprooting reason and dragging us into chaos. The Stoics believed that while we cannot control the wind, we can steady the sails of our inner ship. To struggle with emotions is human, but to let them dictate our actions is a choice. Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Reacting to emotions without reflection is akin to steering a ship blindly through fog. To pause, to breathe, to assess, is to anchor yourself amidst the storm. Boundaries are not walls that shut others out, but lines that protect your integrity. When Seneca said, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you," he was speaking of the power of discernment. It is not cruel to limit access to your time, energy, or emotional resources. It is wise. Setting boundaries starts with understanding your own values and refusing to compromise them. Imagine a traveler burdened by unnecessary weight. Each piece of baggage represents someone else's expectations or your unresolved emotions. The Stoic traveler learns to shed what does not serve them, walking lighter and freer. Boundaries are the act of saying, "This is my load to bear, and this is yours." Consider a river flowing freely through a valley, its waters teeming with life and its current unwavering. One day, a great stone falls into the river, blocking its flow. The river crashes against the stone, in anger, its waters pooling and spilling over the banks. Weeks pass, and the river begins to change. It carves a path around the stone, flowing once more, with grace. The stone remains, but it no longer obstructs the river's purpose. You are the river, and the emotions or relationships that challenge you are the stone. To struggle is natural, but to adapt is wisdom. When you let go of what you cannot control, you find a way forward. Practical steps for letting go. Number 1, acknowledge the emotion. Denial traps you. Acknowledgement frees you. Write your feelings down as Marcus Aurelius did, seeing them for what they are, temporary and external to your true self. Number 2, reframe your perspective. Ask, what is within my control? Often, the answer lies in your response rather than the situation. Number 3, meditate daily. A few moments of silence each day help you observe your mind and its patterns, making it easier to let go when emotions arise. Number 4, practice the view from above. Imagine looking at your life from a higher vantage point, seeing how transient and small today's worries are in the grand scheme. The modern world bombards us with stimuli, testing our ability to remain steadfast. A friend may overstep, a colleague may provoke, or social media may inflame insecurities. Remember that you are the gatekeeper of your peace. By learning to let go of what is not yours to carry, and by setting firm boundaries, you embody the wisdom of the Stoics. As Marcus Aurelius concluded, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Let this guide your boundaries, ensuring they are grounded in integrity and reason. Chapter 2. The Art of Self-Mastery. The struggle for control over oneself is as ancient as humanity itself. To live with emotional balance and clarity is the aspiration of many, yet the path remains steep and arduous. Marcus Aurelius writes in Meditations, "You must build up your life action by action, and be content if each one achieves its goal as far as possible." This chapter is dedicated to the Stoic pursuit of self-mastery, a journey that begins within. The Stoics often likened the soul to a fortress. Strong walls are not built overnight, but stone by stone, with care and patience. Self-mastery, too, requires vigilance, reflection, and discipline. To master oneself is not to suppress emotions, but to direct them wisely, channeling their energy into purposeful actions. Epictetus reminds us, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Freedom, for the Stoics, is not found in external circumstances, but in the dominion of one's own mind. A slave to anger, desire, or fear cannot act with true autonomy. Self-mastery liberates us from these chains. Central to Stoicism is the dichotomy of control, the distinction between what we can and cannot influence. This principle is a cornerstone of self-mastery. Seneca advises, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Much of our distress arises from attempting to control the uncontrollable or dwelling on imagined fears. To practice self-mastery, focus your energy on what lies within your power, your thoughts, actions, and attitudes. When you accept that external events are indifferent to your will, you free yourself from unnecessary turmoil. There is an old parable about a wise elder teaching a young child about the inner struggle. Inside each of us, the elder explains, are two wolves constantly fighting. One is anger, envy, greed, and fear. The other is kindness, courage, patience, and love. The child asks, "Which wolf will win?" The elder responds, "The one you feed." This tale resonates deeply with Stoic thought. Self-mastery involves choosing which wolf to nurture. When anger arises, do not deny it, but neither should you fuel it. Instead, question its origin. Is it rooted in your expectations? Is it worth your peace? Through such inquiry, you starve the destructive wolf and strengthen the virtuous one. 1. Daily reflection. Like Marcus Aurelius, end each day by reflecting on your actions. Ask yourself, what did I do well? Where did I falter? How can I improve tomorrow? This practice reinforces accountability and growth. 2. Practice voluntary discomfort. The Stoics embraced discomfort to build resilience. Seneca suggested going without luxuries occasionally to remind oneself how little is truly necessary. By choosing discomfort, you train your mind to endure hardships with grace. 3. Pause before reacting. When emotions surge, take a moment to pause. In that brief silence, remind yourself of the dichotomy of control. Choose your response deliberately, rather than reacting impulsively. 4. Meditate on mortality. Contemplating the brevity of life, known as memento mori, sharpens your focus on what truly matters. It reminds you to act with purpose and to let go of petty grievances. Imagine a situation where a colleague harshly criticizes your work in front of others. The immediate emotional response may be anger or humiliation. However, a Stoic approach redirects this energy. First, pause and reflect. Is their opinion within my control? Does their criticism hold truth, or is it a reflection of their own issues? If the critique is valid, embrace it as an opportunity for growth. If not, dismiss it with indifference, recognizing that others' opinions do not define your worth. By mastering your reaction, you remain composed and in control. Self-mastery transforms challenges into opportunities. It allows you to face adversity with poise and to pursue goals with unwavering focus. The Stoic philosopher Musonius Rufus argued that virtue is not only desirable, but essential for a good life. When you cultivate self-mastery, you align your actions with virtue, finding peace amidst life's chaos. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. By mastering your inner world, you create a life of resilience, wisdom, and fulfillment. Chapter 3. The Discipline of Desire. Desire is a double-edged sword. When balanced, it drives ambition and fosters growth. When unchecked, it becomes a source of endless longing and dissatisfaction. The Stoics, recognizing its power, did not advocate for the eradication of desire, but for its discipline. Epictetus captures this beautifully. Freedom is not procured by the full enjoyment of what is desired, but by controlling the desire. Desire stems from our perception of what we lack. Whether it's material wealth, status, or affection, we often believe that acquiring these will bring happiness. Yet Seneca reminds us, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. This insatiable craving creates a cycle of dependence where satisfaction remains perpetually out of reach. The Stoics understood that desire could lead to discontent if not grounded in reason. They taught that true contentment arises from wanting only what is within our control and aligned with nature. This requires a disciplined approach to distinguish between healthy aspirations and destructive yearnings. Once there was a wealthy merchant who desired a rare gemstone said to bring fortune and admiration. After years of searching and sacrificing, he obtained it, displaying it proudly. Yet instead of feeling joy, he became consumed by fear of losing it. He avoided travel, neglected his relationships, and mistrusted everyone. In his obsession with keeping the gem, he became a prisoner of his own desire. This story illustrates the trap of attaching one's happiness to external possessions. The merchant's pursuit of the gemstone was not the problem. It was his inability to master his desire. The Stoics would urge him to ask, does this object truly serve me, or do I serve it? Training, desire, the art of temperance first. Practice gratitude. The Stoics valued gratitude as a counter to excessive desire. By appreciating what you already have, you shift your focus from lack to abundance. Each morning, remind yourself of the people, skills, and opportunities you are fortunate to have. Second, visualize loss. A practice known as premeditatio malorum involves imagining life without the things you cherish. This does not encourage detachment, but fosters appreciation and resilience, ensuring that desire does not turn into dependence. Third, simplify your needs. Seneca advocated for voluntary simplicity, suggesting, set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, is this the condition that I feared? By occasionally living with less, you learn to desire only what is necessary. Fourth, align desires with virtue. The Stoics believed that desires tied to virtue, like wisdom, courage, and justice, lead to fulfillment. Ask yourself, will this desire make me a better person, or merely serve fleeting pleasures? In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with advertisements, social media, and comparisons. Each click promises happiness, and each purchase promises fulfillment. Yet the more we chase, the more elusive contentment becomes. The Stoic approach provides a solution. Instead of asking, what can I have? Ask, what do I truly need? This reframing shifts your mindset from accumulation to sufficiency. True wealth, as Epictetus noted, lies in wanting little. The discipline of desire liberates us. When we desire only what is within our control, we are no longer enslaved by external circumstances. Consider the story of Diogenes, the Cynic philosopher, who lived in a simple barrel with few possessions. When asked how he could be so content, he replied that he desired nothing he could not obtain. While extreme, his example underscores the power of disciplined desire to bring freedom. Practical exercise. The 3 questions. To cultivate disciplined desire, ask yourself these questions before pursuing a goal or longing. 1. Is this within my control? If the answer is no, let it go. 2. Will this improve my character? If not, it may not be worth pursuing. 3. What will I sacrifice to achieve this? Consider the cost, not just in time or resources, but in peace of mind. When you master desire, you find joy not in acquisition, but in being. You recognize that life's greatest treasures, integrity, relationships, and wisdom, cannot be purchased, but must be cultivated. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. The discipline of desire transforms longing into contentment and ensures that the pursuit of happiness aligns with the pursuit of virtue. Chapter 4. The Strength in Endurance. Life is filled with challenges that test the limits of our patience, resilience, and resolve. The Stoics understood that endurance is not merely the ability to bear suffering, but to do so with dignity, grace, and purpose. Marcus Aurelius advises, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. This chapter explores how the Stoics embraced the art of endurance, transforming suffering into an opportunity for growth and wisdom. Suffering is an inevitable part of life, yet it is how we respond to it that defines us. Epictetus taught, difficulties are things that show a person what they are. Challenges are not punishments, but teachers, revealing our true character and offering the chance to refine it. The Stoics believed that suffering could be endured through understanding its impermanence. Just as seasons change, so too do circumstances. Endurance, then, is not passive resignation, but active engagement with life's trials, knowing they are temporary. In a small village, a blacksmith was known for crafting the finest swords. When asked about his process, he explained that the strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire. Each strike of his hammer shaped the metal, and each immersion in the flames made it resilient. The blacksmith's craft mirrors the Stoic approach to hardship. Life's trials are the fire, and we are the steel. Endurance is the hammer that shapes us into something stronger, more purposeful. Techniques to cultivate endurance. First, reframe adversity as opportunity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This Stoic principle, often summarized as "the obstacle is the way," teaches us to view challenges as opportunities for growth. Ask yourself, what can I learn or gain from this difficulty? Second, focus on the present. Much suffering comes from dwelling on the past or fearing the future. Seneca counseled, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. When faced with hardship, break it down into manageable moments. Endure one step at a time. Third, draw strength from purpose." Viktor Frankl, influenced by Stoic thought, wrote in Man's Search for Meaning that suffering becomes bearable when we find meaning in it. Reflect on your values and purpose. Let them guide you through tough times. Fourth, seek solace in nature. The Stoics often turned to nature for inspiration. Observe how a tree withstands storms, its roots holding firm even as its branches sway. Nature's resilience reminds us that endurance is natural and intrinsic. Consider the story of Musonius Rufus, a Stoic philosopher exiled for his beliefs. Stripped of his home and comforts, he refused to view his exile as punishment. Instead, he saw it as an opportunity to practice self-sufficiency and teach others. Musonius endured with grace, turning his suffering into a testament of inner strength. In modern terms, think of someone recovering from loss or illness. By focusing on small victories, seeking support, and maintaining hope, they demonstrate the essence of Stoic endurance. Endurance is deeply tied to the Stoic principle of amor fati, the love of fate, to accept what happens, not with passive resignation, but with active embrace, is to find freedom. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, a blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it. When you accept your circumstances, you reclaim power over them. Endurance becomes an act of transformation, turning pain into wisdom and hardship into strength. Practical exercises to build endurance. First, voluntary hardship. Challenge yourself with small, voluntary discomforts. Go a day without certain conveniences, like warm showers or digital distractions. These exercises build resilience for when life imposes hardships beyond your control. Second, journaling on gratitude. Even in adversity, reflect on what remains good in your life. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is lacking to what endures. Third, mantras of strength. Adopt a Stoic mantra to guide you through difficult moments. Examples include 1. This too shall pass. 2. I am stronger than this challenge. A reward for endurance. The reward for enduring hardship is not merely survival, but transformation. You emerge from trials with greater clarity, strength, and wisdom. As Seneca wrote, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Endurance is a gift you give yourself, preparing you for life's future challenges with courage and poise. Chapter 5. Embracing the impermanence of life. Life's impermanence is both a source of beauty and a challenge to accept. The Stoics taught that by embracing the transient nature of existence, we free ourselves from fear and attachment. Marcus Aurelius reflected, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." This chapter delves into the Stoic understanding of impermanence, exploring how acknowledging life's fleeting moments leads to deeper fulfillment and peace. The river of life. Imagine standing by a river, watching the water flow endlessly past. Each drop of water represents a moment of time, once present, then gone forever. Heraclitus, a pre-Socratic philosopher whose ideas resonated with the Stoics, observed, "You cannot step into the same river twice." This metaphor encapsulates the impermanence of life. Everything flows, everything changes. We often resist this truth, clinging to the illusion of permanence in relationships, possessions, or achievements. But the Stoics remind us, it is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Epictetus. If we change our perspective, impermanence transforms from a source of fear into a wellspring of appreciation. The gift of memento mori. Memento mori, Latin for remember you will die, was a practice cherished by the Stoics. It wasn't morbid, it was empowering. By meditating on mortality, they sharpened their focus on living virtuously and fully. Seneca advised, "Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books every day. Reflecting on death helps us prioritize. It strips away trivial concerns, forcing us to confront what truly matters. How do we spend our time? Do our actions align with our values? Have we expressed gratitude to those we love? Were the fear of loss of loved ones, possessions, or even our own youth is a natural part of life. Yet, our resistance to loss magnifies our suffering. Epictetus teaches, when giving your child or wife a kiss, repeat to yourself, "I am kissing a mortal." This is not cold detachment, but a gentle reminder to cherish moments without clinging to them. By accepting loss as inevitable, we gain the courage to live more fully. The Stoic approach is not to deny grief, but to balance it with perspective. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." Finding freedom in letting go. When we accept impermanence, we free ourselves from the burden of attachment. This doesn't mean we stop caring. Instead, we engage with life deeply and sincerely, knowing that its beauty lies in its transience. Consider the fleeting nature of a sunset. Its impermanence is what makes it breathtaking. By practicing detachment, we prepare ourselves for life's inevitable changes. This detachment is not indifference, but resilience. It allows us to enjoy what we have without fearing its loss. Practical steps to embrace impermanence. First, daily gratitude. Each day, pause to appreciate something transient, a blooming flower, a conversation, or even your own breath. Acknowledge its impermanence and let it deepen your gratitude. Second, reframe loss as change. When faced with loss, remind yourself that it is a natural part of life's cycle. Reflect on what remains and how you can grow from the experience. Third, write your eulogy. Imagine what you'd like people to remember about you. Use this exercise to realign your actions with your values, focusing on what truly matters. Fourth, simplify attachments. Periodically, assess what you are holding on to, whether possessions, grudges, or fears. Ask, is this serving my growth, or am I clinging to it out of fear? Let go of what no longer serves you. A story of acceptance. A wise gardener tended a small orchard. Each spring, she delighted in the blossoms, knowing they would not last. When the petals fell, she did not mourn their loss, but celebrated the fruits that followed. When autumn came and the trees shed their leaves, she welcomed the bareness, knowing it was preparation for new growth. This gardener's life mirrors the Stoic embrace of impermanence. Each stage of the cycle has its purpose, and acceptance of this rhythm brings peace. Seneca, the role of legacy. The Stoics viewed legacy as an extension of impermanence. Marcus Aurelius mused, "What we do now echoes in eternity." While we cannot control how we are remembered, we can strive to act with virtue, knowing our actions shape the present and ripple into the future. Consider what impact you wish to leave behind. Let it motivate you to live intentionally, even as you accept that the memory of all things will fade. Respect the beauty of the present. To embrace impermanence is to awaken to the present. When we stop clinging to the past or fearing the future, we can truly experience life. As Seneca said, begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life. Each moment is a gift, precious precisely because it cannot last. By accepting the impermanence of life, we discover its profound beauty. We learn to live fully, love deeply, and face change with courage. This is the Stoic way. Chapter 6. Mastering the Inner Dialogue. The greatest battles are not fought in fields or courts, but within the mind. The Stoics believed that mastering one's inner dialogue was the key to achieving tranquility and self-control. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In this chapter, we delve into the art of taming the mind, silencing destructive thoughts, and fostering a harmonious inner dialogue that aligns with Stoic principles. Me, the chattering mind. Each of us carries a voice within, a constant stream of thoughts, judgments, and worries. Left unchecked, this voice can become a source of anxiety, self-doubt, and regret. Seneca observed, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Our inner dialogue, if negative, amplifies our struggles and blinds us to reality. The Stoics understood that while we cannot control external events, we can govern how we interpret them. By mastering our inner dialogue, we can transform chaos into clarity. The two voices. Imagine two voices within your mind. One is the voice of reason, the other, the voice of impulse. The voice of reason is calm, rational, and guided by virtue. It encourages patience, courage, and wisdom. The voice of impulse, however, is driven by fear, desire, and ego. It reacts without thought, seeking comfort or revenge. The goal of Stoicism is to amplify the voice of reason while quieting the voice of impulse. This does not mean ignoring emotions, but interpreting them wisely. As Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Strategies to master inner dialogue. 1. Practice mindfulness. Observe your thoughts as they arise. Are they constructive or destructive? Mindfulness helps you become an impartial observer, reducing the power of negative thoughts. Example: if a mistake triggers self-criticism, pause and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Replace blame with curiosity. 2. Reframe negative thoughts. Marcus Aurelius advised, you have the power to strip away many superfluous troubles, for they lie entirely in your own judgment. Reframing is the art of shifting perspective. Instead of seeing a problem as a burden, view it as an opportunity to grow. Exercise. Write down a troubling thought and rewrite it from a Stoic perspective. For instance, I failed at this task can become, this task taught me what to improve. 3. Use rational questions. Challenge. Impulsive thoughts with rational questions. Oh, is this within my control? Oh, what would a wise person do in this situation? Oh, am I seeing the full picture or just my fears? 4. Adopt a Stoic mantra. A simple, repeatable phrase can redirect your inner dialogue. Examples include, oh, I am calm in the face of storms. Oh, this moment is mine to master. Oh, let reason guide me, not fear. The story of the sculptor. A sculptor once received a block of marble. To his apprentice, it seemed imperfect, full of cracks. Yet the sculptor began chiseling with patience and precision. Over time, he revealed a beautiful statue. When asked how he created it, he replied, I didn't create it. I removed everything that was not the statue. Our inner dialogue works the same way. By removing the noise of doubt, fear, and anger, we reveal our inner wisdom and strength. The pitfalls of unchecked thoughts. Unchecked thoughts often spiral into regret over the past or worry about the future. This mental time travel robs us of the present moment. Seneca warned, "What's the use of dragging up sufferings that are over, of being unhappy now just because you were then? When you find your thoughts straying, gently guide them back to the present. Remind yourself that the only time you can influence is now." Building a harmonious mind. Harmony within the mind requires consistent practice, much like tuning a musical instrument. The Stoics offered these additional techniques. First, daily reflection. Each evening, review your thoughts and actions. Ask yourself, "Oh, did I let negative thoughts control me today? Oh, what could I have thought or done differently?" Second, the view from above. Visualize your life from a higher perspective. Imagine looking down at yourself, your problems, and the world as a whole. This practice helps you see the insignificance of daily troubles and focus on what truly matters. Third, seek solitude. Spend quiet moments alone, away from distractions. This time allows you to listen to your inner dialogue without external influences, making it easier to identify and correct negative patterns. The reward of mastery. Mastering your inner dialogue creates a sanctuary within yourself. You become less reactive to external events and more aligned with your values. Marcus Aurelius likened this inner peace to a fortress. You have to assemble your life yourself, action by action, and be your own master, and so remain your own guardian at all times. Through this mastery, you find freedom, not from life's challenges, but from being ruled by them. Chapter 7. The Stoic Guide to Living with a Purpose. Purpose gives life direction, meaning, and resilience. Without it, we drift aimlessly, vulnerable to the whims of circumstance. The Stoics viewed purpose as the cornerstone of a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "People who labor all their lives but have no purpose to direct every thought and impulse are wasting their time, even when hard at work." In this final chapter, we explore how Stoicism encourages us to identify and live in alignment with our purpose, making every action count and every moment meaningful. Defining purpose. The Stoic way. Purpose for the Stoics was not about external success or recognition. It was about aligning one's actions with nature and virtue. Epictetus taught, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." To find purpose, one must reflect on their values and ask, what kind of person do I want to become? For the Stoics, the ultimate purpose was to live in harmony with nature, which meant living with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. These virtues served as guiding principles for every decision and action. Obstacles to purpose. Many people struggle to define their purpose because they are distracted by societal expectations, fear of failure, or the pursuit of fleeting pleasures. The Stoics warned against being swayed by these distractions. Seneca observed, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Stoicism encourages clarity and focus. By stripping away what is unnecessary, whether material desires, shallow ambitions, or the approval of others, we can identify what truly matters. Steps to discover your purpose. First, examine your core values. Reflect on the principles that resonate most deeply with you. Ask, "Oh, what virtues do I admire in others? Oh, what kind of legacy do I want to leave?" Use these reflections to define your guiding values. Second, find your unique contribution. Every individual has unique strengths and talents. The Stoics believed these gifts should be used to benefit others. Marcus Aurelius said, "What is your vocation? To be a good person. Whether through art, science, teaching, or caregiving, your purpose can be found in serving a greater good." Third, embrace the journey, not the outcome. Stoicism teaches that we cannot control the results of our efforts, only our actions. Focus on doing your best each day, trusting that your purpose will unfold through consistent effort. Fourth, practice amor fati. Accept your life circumstances as part of your path. Even hardships contribute to your purpose by teaching resilience and wisdom. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Love only what happens. What was destined, no greater harmony." Living with purpose. Once you've defined your purpose, the next challenge is to live by it daily. This requires vigilance, reflection, and a commitment to virtue. Seneca advised, "Let all your efforts be directed to something. Let us keep that end in view." Living with purpose also means prioritizing what matters most. Time is finite, and every moment spent on trivial pursuits is a moment lost. Make conscious choices that align with your values and goals. A Stoic's story. A merchant once sought advice from a Stoic philosopher. He asked, "How can I find purpose in my work?" The philosopher replied, "Does your work serve others?" "Yes," said the merchant, "but only to make a profit." The philosopher then asked, "What if you used your work to benefit others while still earning your keep? Could you not find purpose in providing for your family, improving your craft, and treating others fairly?" The merchant reflected and began conducting his business with greater integrity and generosity. He found that purpose was not in the work itself, but in the way he approached it. In the legacy of purpose. The Stoics remind us that our actions today shape the legacy we leave behind. Marcus Aurelius urged, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Living with purpose is not about grandeur, but consistency, choosing every day to act in alignment with your values. As you journey through life, ask yourself, am I living according to my principles? Am I contributing to something greater than myself? These questions, answered honestly, guide you towards a life of fulfillment and meaning. Im Ortho Statuer. As we conclude this series, remember that the Stoic path is not about perfection, but progress. Life is an ever-changing landscape, and Stoicism provides a compass to navigate it with courage, wisdom, and grace. The rational explorer embodies the essence of Stoicism. To explore rationally is to seek understanding, embrace challenges, and grow through experience. The Stoics remind us that every challenge is an opportunity, every loss a lesson, and every moment a chance to live virtuously. This series is just the beginning. The journey of self-mastery, resilience, and purpose continues daily. As Epictetus said, "How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself?" Begin today. Explore rationally. Live virtuously. If you found this journey insightful, subscribe to The Rational Explorer for more thoughtful explorations of philosophy, wisdom, and life's big questions. Let's continue this journey together.